Hey guys, let's talk about enzymes today. So, in enzymes, what is an enzyme? An enzyme is a protein, and you can look at what proteins are in the lecture. Those proteins we talked about, they have like primary, secondary, tertiary, quaternary structure. So when we talk about an enzyme and we represent it this way, as we usually do, that's just a representation. In there is a there are chains of peptide that are all folded. So there's primary structure, secondary, tertiary, and quaternary structure if there are several peptides. That can be left aside, but I want you to have that in mind when you look at those drawings. For today, you don't need to think about what's in there, you need to think about what that does. So enzymes facilitate reaction. They do not allow reaction to take place in the first place. Reactions always take place. Why? Well, if you think of a substrate, so substrate in that case will be like this, that's made of part A and part B, that substrate will either will break down naturally at a certain rate given the temperature, because temperature is molecular movement, right? So the movement of the part A and part B can break apart that substrate. That will take place naturally at a certain rate, but in human beings or living things, it can be hard to sometimes wait for that to happen, or imagine for the rate at which you want that to happen you need a temperature that's above boiling. That's not really conducive to life, is it? So enzymes allow life to facilitate that process. So when you now get your substrate nicely snugged in there, you will end up, and you have to pardon my drawing skills, you will end up with A and B separated compared to initial. So the enzyme here allowed you to do this from air like this will take place naturally, but the rate will be extremely low, allowed you to facilitate that. So the energy that was needed to do that may have been 100 degrees Celsius of temperature movement. But now you can, with that enzyme, you can do this by using the substrate enzyme complex to make the products with only 37.5 degrees Celsius, which is great because that's the temperature of our body. So that's really handy that we don't have to boil ourselves to death to get that done. And that's really the point of enzyme. It's not to make reaction happen that would not happen normally. It's to facilitate that. That allows us to make so much more of certain products or break down so much more than you would need to do otherwise. So that's why enzyme of digestion are really handy. But our digestion in human beings is not only done by enzymes, we also do it externally. And yes, you cook your food, you digest it externally. You break down protein structure first before you let your enzyme break it down further. So that's really what I wanted you to know about the reaction that is permitted, that is sped up by enzymes. Just keep in mind that all reactions always require energy, be it an enzyme that breaks things down or the opposite, an enzyme that will put those things together. Although when you break things down, you tend to liberate energy by breaking them apart, you still need energy to have to take that apart. So you have a net output of energy, but you had to input some energy. And when you put things together, you need to input energy, not only the initial energy that's required, but also the energy at the end that you need to add to create the bond. And that I want to show you where that energy is. And we'll do that in later uh, lecture. So we'll talk in details about where the energy is. But really, that important piece to keep in mind first is this. There's always an input of energy necessary, even when you break things down, even when you go from something here to there, which releases net energy, you still need energy to break it down, right? If you didn't need energy, you will be at absolute zero. Remember, Temperature is just molecular movement. Molecular movement is also kinetic energy. So you need initial energy to do that, right? Enzymes facilitate reactions, do not create them, facilitate them. Okay, that's all for this video. I'll see you next time.